Hey guys, this is Sajjad Chehrazi here, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to install Kali Linux as a virtual machine on your home system. Well, as you may already know, Kali Linux is a Linux distribution based on Debian, specifically designed for ethical hacking, penetration testing, because it has lots of different security tools like bframework, Metasploit, Pursuit, these kind of tools on it. I'm going to use Virtualbox as my virtual machine manager because it's free, it's powerful, and easy to use. I'm not going to go through the process of installing Virtualbox because it's really easy. I'm assuming you already know how to do that. Well, basically, once you've installed Virtualbox in your system, go and open it up. As you can see, I've already installed a bunch of different virtual machines on my system. To create a new one, you can simply click on New button on the top. It asks for a name. I'm going to give it a simple name, calendar 2024. The next prompt is about the path you want your virtual machine to be installed in. I'm going to leave it to its default. The type, I'm going to choose Linux. In the version, I'm going to choose Debian 64-bit. The next setting is about the memory size you want to allocate to your virtual machine. I'm going to give it something around 4 gigabytes. The hard disk, I'm going to leave it to its default. It's just going to create a new virtual hard disk for us. So go and click on Create button. Here you can see the location of the video file, the virtual machine file. The next thing is about the space, the disk space you want to allocate to your virtual machine. I recommend giving it at least 10 gigabytes. I'm going to give it something around 15. Well, here you can choose the hard disk file type. I'm going to leave it to its default, the video and Virtualbox disk image. You can choose others, but it really doesn't matter for us now. In this section, you can choose between dynamically allocated or fixed size. The difference is if you use fixed size and you give it, for instance, 15 gigabytes, the moment you click on Create button, it occupies 15 gigabytes on your disk space. But if you use dynamically allocated, it's going to use as much space as it needs through the time. So I'm going to use dynamically allocated. So go and click on Create button. Simply, as you can see, we created a new virtual machine for ourselves, and now we can go to the settings and the systems and the processor tab. We can give it more processor. And the display section, we can give it more video memory. And as you can see, you can make other changes about network, audio, and other stuff. Go and click on OK. To start your virtual machine, you can simply click on the Start button on the top. Well, it asks for a startup disk. Here we can choose your ISO file. You can choose it from here, or you can click on this icon, click on Add, select your ISO file. I'm going to select Kali Linux 2024 and choose it as your startup disk and click on Start. So we're in the boot menu. I'm going to use graphical install because it's more straightforward. You can use the install, the text-based install. Here it wants to select the language and use the default, select your location, click on continue, configure the keyboard. I'm going to use the default. It's going to load the install components. Configure the network. So it asks for a host name. I'm going to use the default and click on continue. The domain name, let's skip this part, it doesn't really matter. Setting up user and password. Let's give it a simple name. Use the name Kali for our accounts. Give it a simple password. Click on continue. It's gonna set up the clock for us. So we're gonna select the Eastern as our time zone. Click on continue. Detecting disks. Well, basically, so because we're using VirtualBox and installing as a virtual machine, we don't need to worry about losing our data. We can use the entire disk. Click on continue, selecting our disk. And here we can separate the home partition, or we can use the all files in one partition. I'm going to use the default, click on continue. Here we can see a summary about our partitions. We have a primary partition of 15 gigabytes. It's an x84 as our root. We have an 1 gigabyte logical partition as our swap. Here we can click on finish partitioning and write changes to disk. They ask if you want to write the changes. I'm going to say yes, click on continue. So it's going to install the base system. I'm going to pause the video until we get to the next step. Alright, so we got to the next step. Here we can choose the softwares we want to install. For instance, we can choose the Canon KD Plasma as our desktop environment. I want to select XFCE. It's kind of lighter, it's kind of more faster, and we can choose the top 10 most popular tools and default recommended tools. I'm going to use the defaults, click and continue. Again, I'm going to pause the video until we get to the next step. It's going to take more time to install the software. So I'm going to pause the video and get to the next step. Okay, after a couple of minutes and installing the software, it gets to this part. It asks if you want to install the Chrome bootloader to primary drive. I'm going to say yes and click and continue. It asks to choose the drive you want your Grub to be installed. I'm going to choose my drive, click and continue. It's going to finish the installation. So far, so simple. You see, just click and continue using the default setting. Okay, it seems it's gonna take some time. Let me just pause the video till we get to the next step. Alright, as you can see, the installation is finished. Now we can click and continue to reboot. I'm gonna enter my username and password. And that's it. As you can see, we successfully installed our Cal Linux as a virtual machine. Congratulations to you. Well, I hope to see you in the next video. Do all the algorithm things, like, comment, subscribe, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.